Here are the five categories of Lashon Hara. Lashon Hara means evil speech, and the first one is Rechilut, gossip. Number two is Lashon Hara, harmful or derogatory words that are true. Three, Motri Shem Ra, harmful or derogatory words that are not true. Four, Ona'at Devarim, words that cause pain. And number five, Ovak Lashan Hara, words that are on the border of being Lashan Hara. So this is what the Trump administration is guilty of. The people that indicted James Comey, not, and it's based on my opinion. And I'm going to make my next video to show you the meme that James Comey posted and how this is actually Lashon Hara, because 8647 does not mean to murder anybody. I'm sure you've been to the bar, you've been to the club. See, back in my day, the bouncer, if you got bounced by a bouncer from a bar or club, or even security, they'll tell you, hey, you're 86. And what that 86 means is that, hey, you got to remove yourself from this establishment because you're misbehaving. You're not following our rules or policies. That's why that's why they're guilty of Lashon Hara, because they spoke Rechilut, they gossip, and they're still gossiping about James Comey. They spoke Motzi Shem Ra, harmful or derogatory words that are not true. They flat out lied about it and arrested him. That's crazy. And number four, they spoke Ona'at Devarim, words that cause pain, because James Comey and his family and like every one of us that is calling BS on the Trump administration for arresting him based on this meme, we're experiencing some degree of Ona'at Devarim. That this article that we read in the news, him being arrested and accused, is causing us pain. These are words that cause pain. And now, so there's another incident that happened with the Houston Police Department Sergeant officer. Her name is Ashley Gonzalez. She made a social media post, and in this post, she was speaking racially. She was being racist. She was speaking racial comments about the black community. So she violated in this, social media post that the whole world saw, rechilut, gossip. She spoke moti shem ra, harmful or derogatory words that are not true, and she spoke ona adat devarim, words that cause pain towards the black community. And activists out here in Texas held her accountable and protested, and she got fired, rightfully so. So don't murder her, don't harm her, leave her alone, because she got her own consequence. She got consequented for her own misbehavior and for her lashon hara. Um, and if you're not from the black community, check this out. If you say the N word, see in my time 20 years ago, we didn't say the N word towards our friends that were black because that's their thing. Me, I found it, and I still find it highly offensive. I'm not going to call you the N word. You might do amongst with your own people. I'm not going to do that because I'm not from that ethnic group. Good thing I didn't, because what's actually happening is that if I did, and if you are doing this, and you're not from that ethnic group, you're actually speaking avak lashon hara, words that are on the border of being lashon hara, because it could be misperceived that you're speaking a racially charged word towards the black community, and that and other people would misthink that you're speaking a racial comment. So just don't do it, because it's actually a sin for doing it and speaking it. Now, there's people out there that say the seven Noahide laws were created by the rabbis and there ain't no proof for it and everything. And so I'm going to point out to you that 2,000 years ago in the New Testament, whoever wrote the New Testament, especially the source I'm going to lead us to, is Acts, and in chapter 15, verse 20, where the seven Noahide commandments are, and it's in the two words. In Acts chapter 15, verse 20, in the Koine Greek language, it says, Don idolon, which means, this translates as the idols. Now, this refers to Yud He Vav He, God's name, blessing God, which means no blasphemy. And this is referring to Lashon Hara and the five categories of Lashon Hara, right there in the New Testament. And non-Jewish people, Noahide people who are turning to the God of Israel and being educated by the rabbis and their scholars and their and their teachers are learning about this. So I just debunked everybody that made social media posts, whether they're um, scholars or not. I just debunked their lie for speaking Lashon Hara about Israel, about the Jewish nation, about the rabbis, that they created the seven Noahide laws, that there ain't no sources for this, and it's actually found in the New Testament. And that's why I tell my viewers, hey, if you're going to engage in the Bible, you need to sit down and learn Hebrew, Aramaic, and the Koine Greek languages. Study it for yourself so you can arrive at your educated conclusion what's true and what's a lie. And that's where I'm at because Hashem had answered my prayers, and this is why I'm able to read the Bible in Hebrew, Aramaic, Greek, Latin, and these, English, and I can translate it into English from these languages. And that's why I shared this information with you. And that's why I just pointed out to you, yeah, I just debunked all these people that are lying about the rabbis creating the seven Noahide laws because they do exist. And right there in the New Testament, this is a 2,000-year-old source that exists where these seven Noahide commandments are written in. And I know don't alone sounds like contradictory. It's the idols, but this refers to you have to bless Hashem, and if you do the opposite, if you don't bless Hashem, you're speaking blasphemy. And when you speak lashon hara about people and about God, right, about Hashem, you're actually committing idol worship because you're going against the will of God. You're making yourself the idol. You're saying you're God, and you're speaking bad about God, the real God, the only God, and other people. You're going against the will of Hashem. So you become the actual idol. Can you imagine that? That's how I know that the Jewish people are representing the only true God that exists in the world, the real mover and shaker. So take it upon yourself to take time to research and inquire with the rabbis so you can do tshuva and so you can help in a human being way, in a divine way, address all the problems that we're facing here in the United States of America and across the world through this Jewish education